I'll show you how to level a stump, and I'll show you the one I did several years ago. This is actually a black walnut, and it turned out pretty good, I think. It's really flat on top. A little hard to see here, but anyway, I was pleased with this one. If you're looking for a stump, you might be able to do this. Just look in the bush like this. In here. And this is what I did. You kind of get caught with all these thorns. I had to hack my way through here a little bit. Climb over this stuff right here. And over this one. And then there's a barbed wire fence here, which you can also just go over. And I found this Bodark tree that was falling down. And there's where I got my stump, right out of there. It was in there. And it has such delightful yellow sauce. And it fell down there, dragged it with a come along under the fence right there. And I put a rope on to the truck out there, pulled it out to the edge of the bush. And yeah, so it went okay. And then I put it up that ramp, got it into the back of the truck, right there, tied it up with a rope. So there's the stump over there laying sideways. And I found a flat spot, marked it with yellow chalk there, and this is approximately flat on the surface of the driveway. And so I'm going to park the stump right there in that square. So now the thing is, you got to look at the stump from this direction and then from 90 degrees off. So you look at it this way, it's standing up. Actually, actually looks pretty good, you know. The edges of the stump, of course, are uneven, so when you have the finished product, you kind of want it to look like it's standing straight up. And so this actually looks pretty good right from here. Then we move 90 degrees this way. And this also looks not bad. I guess we could prop it up a little bit on the left side. Yeah, so that looks a little better. So I'm gonna do the initial leveling with this router. It's an old Black & Decker router, average router, and it's got that kind of bit in it. It's just a straight trenching bit, 3/4 of an inch wide, and that's what I'm going to use. And then I've got this frame that this thing slides in. It's this thing right here. So it's just wide enough. I've built this thing and built it just wide enough so that this will slide. So I'm sliding it across the top of the stump. You'll see that in a minute. And this is old, just bed frame, you know, angle iron that I took off a bed frame. And then I just cut a block in there. This block needs to be replaced. I'll replace that before I do this, but anyway. So I just made it at the right width, and then you just put that level, and I'll show you how to do that, how the frame levels it, and then you can slide your router in there and got a flat surface, flat and level surface. So there you have it, it's built, just a little cage all the way around, a little bit of room on each side. And I should have said these boards, you know, I like them to come up 6 inches or so. and it gives a little more stability. But really, you're not building cabinetry here, so anything that sort of just hangs together is good. You're only going to need it for a little while, and then you can use those boards for something else, or they can lay around your garage for 40 years. Both of those things work. Okay, so now we need a vertical on each corner. And we're going to install a vertical that comes up a little bit higher than the stump, and I'll show you what that looks like too. Okay, now you just take a stick that is fairly straight along one edge, you know, and we're going to clamp it to this, and we're going to clamp it at approximately the level of the top of the stump. So you can just eyeball it and install it kind of where you think the top of the stump is going to be, and you can clamp it on with a clamp like this with your level. And once it's a level, you hold it there and clamp it on that side with another clamp. Good. Okay, that's good. Right there, it's level. So there it's clamped on, it's level, it's approximately to that. Now you install another one like that on that side, and you level it like this. There it is. There's the router track, and it's going level, and it's right across the top of the stump. And so we can put the router in there, and the blade of the router we can probably adjust downward a little bit. And so as the router goes across, it takes off maybe, well, whatever you set it to, but take off just a little bit, like 1/8 of an inch. And then you just readjust these down a little bit. Once the router blade is as deep as it'll go, when it won't touch the stump anymore, and then you have to lower these maybe about 1 inch or so. Re-level them and keep on working your way down. Okay, here I'm about ready, and I'll turn it on and we'll do a strip or two, and then so that little area right there is what was stripped away by the router. And you might have noticed that after every pass of the router, I just nudged it over a little bit with my fingers, maybe 1/4 of an inch or so. It's tough wood, and I find it goes easier and maybe even faster if you don't try to do too much. And it's, you know, the power of the router. It's not, this is not a super duper router, so okay, show you how we've done so far. There's the area that the router hit, and all of this is lower, so it didn't hit that. And I've extended the bit there just as far as it'll go, you know. So now the thing is, I'm gonna have to lower these, and I can lower them by about 1 inch, or maybe even 1.25 inches, and then start again. Side 2 of the stump, and it turned out to be a little flatter than side 1. So I did this all in one swoop with the router. So here's the stump that's you've done, and you can kind of see the lines where your router has gone. So I tend to sand across that. I don't know if that helps or not, but and I got a really coarse belt in this sander, so at least for the first round, hopefully it does a little bit, take some stuff off. Okay. And it looks pretty good. I mean, there's one gouge across there. I'm not sure what happened there, but and tall it is. That would be like 54 centimeters. It's across. This is about probably the longest distance across in the shadow there a little bit, but 21.5 inches, or a little more than 21.5, but under 22. That's the shortest distance across, or the longest distance across. And I think we ought to weigh it. You can weigh it with your bathroom scale. It said 241.2 pounds. There's that. Just put a little on like this. I'm gonna rub it around like this.